Hey guys, it's Crystal here. Today we are making the Bianca bookmark, which is a very beginner-friendly bookmark with a little heart detail. We're using worsted weight yarn. Here I'm using some Brava Speckle and 4mm knitting needles. This is knit flat. And we'll start with a long tail cast on. You can use any cast on method you like. We're going to cast on 9 stitches. We need an odd number of stitches if you need to adjust this bookmark pattern. Okay, then we'll turn. We're going to start with knit 1, purl 1, seed stitch border across here. So we'll start with a knit 1. Then we'll purl the next. And then we'll repeat that across. And you'll end with a knit. Turn in for row 2, we are going to repeat. So here I'm looking at the back of a knit, which is a purl. So I'm going to knit the first one. Then I'm going to purl. Here we're looking at the back of a purl, so it's a knit. So we're purling that. So we're working the opposite of what we see for the seed stitch here. And ending with a knit. So you can see our texture jumping out there. All right, row 3, this will be the wrong side of our work. So all the odd numbered rows will be the odd side. This row we're going to knit 1, then we're going to purl the next 7, or until we have 1 stitch left. One stitch left, I'm going to knit that last stitch. Turn our work. Now we're on our right side. We're going to knit 1, purl 1. Now we'll knit 5. We'll have 2 stitches left after we knit our 5. We'll purl 1 and knit 1. So this row you can really start to see we have our seed stitch, our first 2 stitches and last 2 stitches. Just like our first couple of rows will continue. And then we're going to have our stockinette base for our bookmark. So now we're going to repeat row 3 again, which is a wrong side row. So we'll just knit 1, purl 7, and then knit the last one. Turning onto our right side. Now we're going to repeat row 4 again. Row 4 is knit 1, purl 1, then knit those center 5, and then when you have 2 stitches left, purl 1, knit 1. Turn and work another row 3 repeat, wrong side row, so we knit 1, purl 7, when we have 1 stitch left, you knit that stitch, turn, and then we're looking at our right side. Now we're just going to keep repeating those 2 rows. So we're on a right side row, so it's a row 4 repeat, knit 1, purl 1, knit 5 across, purl 1, knit 1 on the last 2. Turn and repeat row 3, the wrong side row, knit 1, purl 7, knit 1 at the end. Keep repeating that until your work is about 3 inches long if you want your heart detail in the center. If you want it more at the top, then the overall finished length is about 6 1/4 inches. Okay, so just keep repeating those 2 rows until your bookmark is long enough, and then I'll show you how to do the heart. Okay, when your bookmark is about 3 inches long, or you're ready to start your heart detail, you're going to work it on the next right side row. So we'll knit 1, purl 1 for our edge stitches here. Then we're going to knit 2, and in the center stitch, purl, and then knit 2, and then purl for our edge, and knit for our last stitch. Turn for row 2, we'll knit 1, purl 2, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 2, and then knit the last. For row 3, knit 1, purl 2, knit 3, purl 2, knit 1. Turn for row 4, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. Keep repeating that across. And then we'll knit the last stitch. Now we're going to repeat that row one more time. We're on the right side here. Knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, knit the last. Okay, so that is our heart. Now we're just going to continue our bookmark the same way we started it. We'll be on the wrong side again. So we'll knit one, purl 7, and knit the last. For right side rows, we will knit one, purl one, knit those center 5, purl one, knit the last. Just keep repeating those 2 rows until your bookmark is about 5 3/4 inches long. If you want it longer or shorter, you can do that as well. And then I'll show you how to bind off and finish up. Okay, once your bookmark is long enough, we're going to switch back to our seed stitch border like we did on our first 2 rows. So we're on our next right side row here, knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, and repeat that across. Ending with a knit in the last. Turn on the wrong side and we'll repeat that again. Knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, oops. Okay, now we're going to bind off and pattern. So if we were to continue the seed stitch pattern, it would be knit one, purl one. So we'll do those first 2. Knit, purl, then we're going to pull the first stitch over the second to bind off. Here I pull up just a little to make sure it's not too tight. Then we would do another knit one, pull the first one over to bind off, pull up our loop, then it's a purl one, and just continue alternating and binding off each stitch as you go. Pull up a long loop through that last stitch there. Okay, so you can use a crochet hook or a yarn needle for the next step. we're going to go 10-inch lengths of yarn. And we're going to cut 2 of them. So cut 2 10-inch lengths of yarn, then we're going to fold them in half. And we're going to thread the folded end into our yarn needle. And then we're going to insert our yarn needle into the end stitches here. So our center stitch there. Just got to get that fold through. You can slide the yarn needle off. So our fold here is going to trap our loose ends. So we'll put all 4 of those through the big loop and then pull to tighten. And you can trim up your ends so they're all the same length. Let me get my sharper scissors out for this. Okay. And now we can block and weave in our ends. Okay, I'm going to steam block this one real quick, and while that steamer's heating up, I'll just weave in my ends here. Okay, I'll finish that later. So just give it a good, I'm working with acrylic yarn here, so you'll want to make sure that you follow the instructions for your yarn fiber. Just got a little damp with my steamer. Now I've put it into position. So I'll give it a better blocking now, or better steaming. This will help it lay flat and stop curling so much. Okay, and then I'll let that dry and it'll be all ready to go after I weave in those final ends. Okay, once your bookmark is dry, then you can take it off your blocking mat. Make sure those ends got weaved in, and you can see now that it lays plenty flat, no curling or anything.